Mass incarceration in the U.S. is the great tsunami that has ripped apart families and destroyed communities. At the epicenter of this destruction are the children of those incarcerated. My name is Ebony Underwood. I am the founder CEO of We Got Us Now. We Got Us Now is the first of its kind, national, nonprofit, nonpartisan organization built by, led by, and about children and young adults who have been impacted by parental incarceration. This is Ebony Underwood. I am here in Charlotte, North Carolina with Ashley Jackson.
My father, Orrin Jackson, has been incarcerated since I was 6 months for a drug-related offense. So he was sentenced 98 years. So we are coming up on his 29th year.
For most of us that have a parent incarcerated, understanding the law has almost become part of our life.
Right.
It is actually learning a new language because it's so nuanced. And so please be patient as Ashley explains, her dad's situation.
So originally how my father and his co-defendants were charged, for every drug charge that they got, a weapon charge was stacked on top of it. Right now, there are only 2 circuits who still charge that way. North Carolina, the 4th Circuit being one of them. So right now, my father is presenting some information to his attorneys that, he and his co-defendants have, gathered over the years. My father knows his case, obviously, like the back of his hand. So, this is a lot of legal work that he's done on his own, along with his co-defendants, of course. So essentially, they're just getting their attorney to present what they've already put together to the U.S. attorney, just to essentially do away with that way of charging with, every drug charge stacking on a gun charge on top of it. That's the reason they were sentenced so long. The 98 years was a reflection of that stacking. My father hasn't had any infractions, in prison. He's mentored a lot of guys. A lot of guys have written letters of support because, my father and my uncle have gotten, other men get out of prison as well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so he's looking for community support as well as, someone who can honestly be a mouthpiece because they know their case.
Because of the disparities of the war on drugs, the mandatory minimum sentencing, it's just ridiculous. They've come out and said that the war on drugs was a war on brown and black people. We're the innocent bystanders of this experience.
I was on Twitter, essentially trolling all of the NFL players, just trying to get some support, just to bring some light to my dad's case and hopefully have an opportunity to tell my story to one of them, because at the time, Donald Trump, not the president, that's when, he put it out there that, he wanted NFL players to come forth and recommend people for a pardon.
So we too, me and my family too, were like looking for players too, because when he said it, we was like, oh, okay, then maybe we could potentially find some people that would be interested.
Exactly.
So of course, like we're hashtagging whatever we're hashtagging, and I come across Ashley's like proposal to the president asking for support for her dad, and I'm reading, I'm like, oh my God, who is this young lady? I gotta meet her. Yeah, because this is the work that We Got Us Now is set up for, and because we're historically invisible, it's so difficult to find people that have the same story.
Right.
So the fact that you were out there and you were doing the same thing,
right. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying. I just need help. I just need help.
It reminded me so much of myself. Oh my gosh. I was like, okay. I got to reach out to her.
Right. One of the biggest things that I'm trying to overcome is not silencing myself. Like I said, I didn't grow up with any siblings, so I didn't really have a lot of people that I felt understood, just my background. And, if I would tell kids that my dad was in prison, they'd be like, what, did he kill anybody? Like that whole thing. So I'm like, to have these conversations, it's tough. And I'm trying to push through, when I do have those opportunities, because I don't get them a lot. And sometimes I'm like, am I oversharing? Like, did I say too much? But like I said before, I need to get it out. And I think that's the same for a lot of us experiencing this, because it can do more damage, you know, than good, just to bottle everything up.
Yeah.
And then when you finally have the chance to express, it can come off in a way that's angry or bitter. And I went through that stage too. It was depression for sure. It was when I read the new Jim Crow for the first time. Our men are essentially enslaved, and we're the offspring of that. You know, we're feeling all of the effects of it. Like, how is this okay? And I just felt so helpless. And yeah, it was hard. So I'm just saying that to say, again, I went through a bitter period. Earlier, you know, when I spoke about the tough time that my father and I had recently, I kept saying that to him. It's not normal. This is not normal. It's not normal. And he even brought up a point that I think is very relevant, but I don't hear many people talk about it. He said that he had to check himself because he was treating me like I was his wife or woman and not his daughter, in the sense of him giving me all of this responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do this, you have to come see me, call this person, have this person do that.
Yeah.
And when I didn't do it, he would get so upset. But when I was younger, I would take it. Oh, I have to do this for my dad. I have to do this. I have to. And it's like, no, I'll do it. Of course, I love you. I'll do whatever I need to do to help, you know, move things along. But I'm not responsible for you.
Right.
And that took a lot for me to even saying it right now still stings a little bit, because I love you and I want to be, but I don't have to be.
And that is so honest and courageous. It's
Exactly.
the guilt. Like, do we feel guilt? Yes. So you are not alone.
Thank
so
you.
many of us feel this.
Yeah, because it's not easy. Like, it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's like I can't continue to put myself dead last when it comes to all things related to my father, you know, because it's draining.
It is
and
draining.
I love him to death. And like I said, we have a beautiful relationship.
There's this narrative, these false myths about children of incarcerated parents. And they say that we are likely to end up incarcerated like our parents, that we are emotionally and mentally destroyed, that we're likely to end up, you know, on drugs. I just want to say that Ashley Jackson has been a daughter of an incarcerated parent since she was 6 months old. She's an independent, beautiful,
Oh, thank you.
entrepreneur. Hello. Resilience, strength, determination. This is the type of character this experience builds.
I own a company called Gift Box Shop, and we are the only retailer that intentionally helps the incarcerated community stay connected with their friends, family, and loved ones through the act of gift giving. So I create curated gift boxes or personalized gift boxes, and I fill them with, you know, goodies from our own inventory. But if our customers don't want those gift boxes, we offer personal shopping services. So we'll shop for anything within means, of course, and, you know, package it and wrap it and send it home to their family members. Or if they want to shop for themselves, you know, clothing to send home, or magazines or books that are approved to go through the BOP, we'll send those as well.
Wow, that is incredible. So wait, you send packages from the incarcerated people
Yes.
to their loved ones?
To their loved ones. So they can order books, approved books and magazines. It has to be, of course, through a publisher.
Right, through a publisher.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we'll do that for them. If they want to shop for themselves, we'll send them, you know, options to look through, and then we'll send that home for them so they'll have it when they're home.
Oh.
Because I hear all the time, they'll say, I don't know what's cool. I don't know. I just don't want skinny jeans. They say that all the time.
Wait, let me ask you, how do you connect with them?
Core links. So we use the basic messaging system, Core Links, but I should have brought one with me today, catalogs. So I make them by hand. I take all of the pictures myself. And I, you know, write a little forward in the beginning, just, you know, explaining who I am and why I do what I do. And I talk a little bit about my father, just to make them comfortable, to let them know I'm not some random crazy person just sending them a catalog. So I'll ship those out, and then they'll shop from that.
How do you find these people?
I started a brand ambassador program. I would go on different forums that connect, the families just looking for support. So before I send a catalog, I'll write them. I'll send a letter just, asking if they would like to be a brand ambassador for Gift Box Shop. And if so, just reply or add me on Core Links. And if they do, I'll, send a catalog, or I'll send multiple just, based on the demand of that location. It's honestly been word of mouth. A lot of guys move, move around a lot. So we've spread pretty quickly.
So how long have you been in business?
Since 2016.
Wow.
So I went through entrepreneurship program.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, called City Startup Labs. So that really, and shout out to Mr. Rock.
Okay.
That really helped me flesh out the business and, understand my business model. And so at the end of that, we had a pitch competition, which I won that pitch competition.
Did you?
Yes,
good. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I really credit that program for, just helping me understand my business and helping me see it as a real business and not just like a cute side hobby.
You are like such an inspiration, I have to say. Really, truly.
You.
No, you are. You are such an inspiration.
Oh.
And I know people that are going to be listening are going to hear the same thing that I'm hearing.
Oh,
so positive and just like, you're doing the work.
Yeah.
Like the real work. It's not easy.
It's hard. It's taxing. It's emotional.
And she's beautiful taxing. And fly at the same time. I'm like, come on. I was interviewed yesterday and somebody asked me, was your mom around? And I said, you know what? She certainly was. And that's another thing. I want to say, we got to shout out the moms that understand the significance of keeping their daughters connected to their fathers when they are behind bars.
Yeah. I can say that my mom has never once badmouthed my dad.
Wow.
Not once. She would make jokes about when they met, like at 15, like, little funny jokes, but never once made me feel like he was just some bad, person, even as a kid. I remember being, maybe 8 or 9 or so, he would call and I would get an attitude and she would like straighten me like, no, you need to talk to your father. Like, because I didn't understand, like, why do I have to talk in this weird, recording thing? Like, I didn't understand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yes, shout out to my mom. She understands. She lets me vent, she lets me cry when I need to cry. Like, that's my girl. So yes, shout out to the moms. Yeah. Shout out to Cassie.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Shout out to Cassie. Thank you, Mom.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, that's important because I know, unfortunately, the moms or the dads, if that's the situation,
or the grandmas and aunties,
just make you feel like your father or mother is this villain, and like they're where they are for a reason. They don't exist to you, pretty much out of sight, out of mind. But I can say that I didn't have that experience, thank God.
You are an example of being exposed to your dad, even though it seemed like, this really, like he made a mistake and he's in this horrible experience, which seems like it will be forever. And it's, no, you all held on to the hope. You all held on to the love. And looking at you are not what people would identify as a daughter that has a father incarcerated, and with a wonderful relationship. Right. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I want to really debunk those myths. And I think that there are certain people that I've encountered through this experience that can absolutely be representative of that. And you are absolutely one of them. So I'm like, in North Carolina, we have Ashley Jackson. Oh, okay. I look forward to the day that you all are reunited. Why are we incarcerating this harshly? Like, why? Yeah. Especially when people, you just said your dad, is a mentor. He has no infractions. Right. He's been there for over 20 degrees. I mean, he's been there for over 25.
Over 25, yep.
This is great. 29 years? Come on.
29, yep. It's ridiculous. It's, like I said, I went through that bitter stage, just, unpacking, the systemic racism. And, it's heavy. It's heavy.
I just went to the Legacy Museum down in Alabama. They talk about how slavery literally orphaned children and ripped apart communities and families. I'm like,
it's the same thing. Another caste system.
I said, this is the same exact thing that we're experiencing.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It's heartbreaking.
It is.
When you step outside of it and just look at it in its entirety, it's heartbreaking. Yeah. And that's why I said at the time, I just felt, when I had that realization after, reading the new Jim Crow, it broke me down. Like, I've just felt so helpless, which, I'm thankful for, moments like these, even just this conversation, but of course on a bigger scale, thankful for We Got Us Now, because it's like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Like, just to simply have this conversation, like, that's major. Like, I can't have these conversations with anybody really, not to the level that you understand, not, we're able to empathize like all day long because it's the same thing. The work that you're doing is extremely important just for, like, if nothing else, human development. Like, we're still human beings. These are still our parents. We still, we feel the effects of like what this has done. So it's a lot of unpacking, I think. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of feeling, crying, anger, all of that, but it's necessary.
Okay, thank you. Human development. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, seriously, like, because we don't talk about it. We just do not talk about it. So
I know we just walk like through this experience.
And we take it, like you said, resiliency. That's a huge thing. Like, we take it, and yeah, we're tough, but we're human too. We have breaking points. You know what I mean? So we need to heal from it, even when you're still in it. If your father or mother is still in prison, there's still healing that needs to be done.
Thank you, Ashley.
No, thank you.
Thank you for being part of this podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time. I'm so happy to meet you in person.
No problem. Happy to meet you as well.
I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. Is there any words that you want to share, words of wisdom in this experience that you want to share with any daughters or sons that are, or families that are going through this?
I would say make an effort just to let them know that they're not invisible, and that, you do care. You might not be able to adhere to every single demand that they have, but in any way that you can, just show them that you care. If it's a Core Links message or a text message, if they can text, or a letter, believe it or not, they love receiving letters, written letters, and pictures. And there are, apps that you can use if, you don't want to, print the pictures yourself. There are apps that you can use just to help make that easier for you. But I would say just reach out. Do what you can to just show them that, you're there and that you haven't forgotten.
Right. Stay connected to your family to let them know they're not alone.
Right.
Right. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing
You're
that.
welcome.
Anybody you want to shout out?
Just my parents, Orrin Jackson, my mom, Cassandra or Cassie Motley. I love you guys. Thank you for everything.
We are in North Carolina,
Yes,
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes,
we are.
Hot.
But we had a good time.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank you, Ebony.
All right, take care.
All right, you too.
Since this interview, Ashley Jackson has become a 2020 We Got Us Now actionist and has advocated before legislators and policymakers in the U.S. Senate that led to policy that has granted $3.5 million in appropriations that goes to support parental sentencing alternatives in several states across the country. Ashley Jackson is still rigorously fighting and advocating for her father's release from prison after 30 plus years. She writes in the change.org petition, Orrin Jackson, her father, Gary Davis, Cecil Jackson, Eric Rittner, were in their late teens to early 20s when they were convicted on drug and weapons charges 30 years ago. These young men grew up in a disenfranchised community and were not given the opportunities to flourish. As men now in their 50s, they have an extensive track record of their commitment to rehabilitation for themselves and for others. During their incarceration, they have taken college courses, have had virtually no disciplinary infractions, and have helped free and mentor multiple individuals from within. Especially during these unprecedented times regarding the coronavirus and the movement for equality, these 4 individuals deserve to be free. Ashley writes, I am choosing to, with confidence, call on those that have the autonomy to make the right decision based on facts, justice, and basic human rights. Ashley Jackson, a We Got Us Now actionist, and a staunch advocate for the millions of daughters and sons and families who have been impacted by mass incarceration in America. You can support Ashley's advocacy for her father by going to the change.org petition in the bio of this episode. Mass incarceration in the U.S. is the great tsunami that has ripped apart families and destroyed communities. At the epicenter of this destruction are the children of those incarcerated. My name is Ebony Underwood. I am the founder CEO of We Got Us Now. We Got Us Now is the first of its kind, national, nonprofit, nonpartisan organization built by, led by, and about children and young adults who have been impacted by parental incarceration. These are our stories.
To learn more, to join, to donate, go to wegotusnow.org.